She's arrived like this each day for almost 4 months to hear a long list of allegations against her. But her lawyers say it's now time to see Rebekah Brooks as she is, not as she's been described elsewhere. So today it was her turn to speak in her defence. Sitting in the witness box, her voice was quiet, sometimes hesitant, as she described growing up as an only child in Warrington and her meteoric rise through the ranks of a global newspaper empire. As a teenager, she said she swept the floors and made the tea at her local paper. But by the age of just 27, she was deputy editor at the News of the World and went on to become the editor. But during her leadership, she denied even knowing the name of this man. Glenn Mulcair, a private detective paid £100,000 a year by the tabloid, has admitted hacking into people's phones. When asked if she knew of his activities, she replied no, adding, "We did have private detectives working at the News of the World. It is common practice in Fleet Street." When asked if phone hacking had ever been drawn to her attention, she replied no, not at all. She also revealed details about the boss of News Corporation, Rupert Murdoch, telling the court he'd always advised her not to court publicity. She said he wasn't very fond of editors going on Radio 4 and spouting forth about their opinions. He didn't like that. But the defence reminded the jury that Rebekah Brooks is not being tried because she was the editor of a tabloid newspaper. Neither is she on trial for having worked for Rupert Murdoch's company. Instead, he said one of the key questions for them is, did she know about and endorse the practice of phone hacking at the News of the World? Mrs. Brooks explained how she'd persuaded Paul Gascoigne to do this exclusive interview about domestic violence, paying him up to £80,000 and securing one of her first front-page stories. And she revealed the huge costs and fierce competition involved in getting celebrity exclusives like this. She said the paper had spent around $250,000 getting this interview with the prostitute caught with the actor Hugh Grant.
Rebekah!
This was only her first day in up to 3 weeks of giving evidence. Rebekah Brooks, along with 6 other defendants, denies all of the charges against her.